What's up, everybody? This is Carter here, back with another episode of Coin Mastery TV. Hope you're enjoying these. Let me know. Just leave a comment if you're on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. Just email me back if you're on the newsletter. What I want to do, what we're doing in these videos is identifying trends, breaking trends, right? I mean, it's July 13th, so like real-time stuff. And more importantly, I'm just gonna really just share my processes on preparing for what's gonna happen next. Now, I'm not trying to make any, I'm not trying to say I'm the god of trading by any means, but I've had some success. I've been very successful in other businesses and also in like venture capital investing and regular financial investing. And I just wanted to share what I'm doing, like just kind of show you the process and the journey that I'm on. Hopefully translates into more dollars and better decisions for you guys, which inevitably makes big bank accounts and, cruising around the world doing whatever you want. So anyway, you're going to see these videos from time to time, and I'd love to hear feedback on what I can do to help you. All right. So every day, as you've seen, I always open Crypto Watch. This is, what I really love about this, honestly, is not only that there's a lot of, it's easy to read. I love that you can see the trend. Right? This is true in a lot of different dashboards. The trending is really where the good info is. So anytime you're looking at a chart like this, you always want to see kind of where it's going and the path it's taken to get from point A to point B. Is it a straight line? Is it up and down? Is it up, like crap? And that's always really interesting. And also you can see the volume, right? Like some of these are obviously more liquid than others. That's why they have different curve. The smoother the curve, the more liquid it is. It's kind of the short way of answering it. So I woke up, kind of mid-morning here on the west coast of the United States, and you see that a lot of these things are going down. Like, this was up at 220, 225 yesterday. Now it's down 197. We're seeing a smaller dip here, which is good. And I see a lot of this, and I'm like, okay, nothing to do yet. Right, there's no actions to take yet, but it has my attention, right? Like I said in another episode, these numbers are a little deceiving because sometimes it's 12 hours, sometimes it's 24. So sometimes you might want to go check, like spot check what yesterday's price was. You can do that on something like, something like Bittrex, and you can go check it out. But you want to start to look at this, right? And so I think that as you look through this, what you're looking for are a few things. One, what are the outliers? So right here, you got Augur is an outlier. That's interesting, especially since Augur is very closely tied to Ethereum. It's built on the Ethereum blockchain or using the Ethereum technology. So that's interesting. So I might try to research a little bit about Augur. I actually own a fair amount of Augur, which, but it's a fairly big market cap. I think it's like 200 and some odd $1 million market cap. So I'd probably check that out, and then I would look to see what else is behaving very differently than the big two, right? So Bitcoin, Ethereum, they kind of have the same curves. EOS is an outlier because that's like recent ICOs, so I don't really deal with ICOs. I don't really play in that sandbox. It's a little too risky for me. But like Dash is kind of got the same curve, but it's a little lower, so maybe I would check that out or whatever it may be. But that's really how you look at this. So I'd probably want to take a little time. Ripple's kind of got its own thing going on here. I'd want to go check out what the news is on Augur, and also just kind of get a sense of what this is. And you can do that on a lot of different websites like Cointelegraph, CoinDesk. Twitter's an amazing resource for this kind of thing. Let me make sure I get this thing up. Float on top. Just so you guys know, I'm like a real person here. So that's kind of how we kick things off. Pull this back. So we got our marching orders. So the bottom line on today, going into this, is I'm not making any moves right now, but I am interested. I'm more interested than I was yesterday. Yesterday was like way up, right? So now it's down, and my rule is I only buy when it's at least down at least 10% on anything. And so we're getting pretty close, right? Like we're starting to see this is dropping as you can see it. So that's the first step. Then I'm gonna go over to Bittrex. If you guys haven't been on Bittrex, this is where like you get the full market scope. Some people use Poloniex. I don't love Poloniex. I think it's a little bit, I get a bad vibe from Poloniex. They have more volume on a lot of coins, but I like Bittrex a lot better. Seems to be a preferred exchange place for a lot of the traders that I trust. So I just do this. No matter what, you definitely never want to have keep your coins on the exchange. I mean, you can keep a little bit to stay liquid, but you definitely want to move them onto a cold hardware wallet. Links to those in the YouTube video if you're watching. I use Trezor. It's great. They're back ordered, but it's worth getting one or just like getting the process going. So anyway, get over to Bittrex and look and see the same thing. Now ADX, same thing. This is an ICO. Not really going to mess with it. That's why you're seeing such a big drop. Incidentally, there's a great Chrome plugin. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it allows you, when you scroll over this, it gives you the US dollar amounts. Just go to Google and type in like Bittrex USD converter Chrome. You'll see it's worth it. It makes your life a lot easier. So I kind of look for the same thing. Metal is also an ICO, which I'm not going to mess with. And then you can scroll through if there's any particular coins or whatever. I mean, there's Ethereum markets that you can check out. But the real goal of all of this, of every morning, is to identify the outliers and anything, outliers in terms of price, and then also outliers in terms of curvature, right? Which is easy to see on this. This is like you see the price first, and then you go do a deep dive into it. So bottom line today, gonna keep my eyes open. I'll probably make sure that I have my cash ready, or fiat currency or whatever country you're in. But I'm not gonna make any moves quite yet. The big thing that I wait for is to see a lot of volume spiking, and that's when you start to see the prices hit like 10-15%. That's when you start to dive in and like Ethereum Classic crushed yesterday. So maybe I would start to look at this, assuming this dropped another 5-10%, and then I would start to really dive in and I would look at like the 5-minute chart, and I would wait to see things like this. Like if I saw 5 or 6 of these in a row, and it was already 15% down, like that would be something that would get my attention. I'd probably start buying a little bit of that, right? So you really got to just pick a few and monitor them. That's why you see dudes with like 9 monitors, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're just watching all the different charts in real time. So that's where we're at today, July 13th. No moves right now, but I do have my alerts are up, my mental alerts. Some people have alert systems. I haven't gotten that deep in yet, but it's something that I'll definitely check out. Pardon me. So yeah, that's where we're at. As the day progresses, I will keep an eye on this stuff, right? And probably like every 2 hours, I'll probably check it, make sure I'm not missing anything crazy. Twitter or Facebook, like I'll see if anything's going crazy. But the big thing today is making sure that I have the cash ready. One thing that's interesting that I do, I have a notebook at the end of every day before I go home or before I go to bed even. I will write down what would I do tomorrow if everything was just crushing it, right? Like what would I do if everything goes up 25% like it did yesterday? Similarly, what do I do if everything bombs? Like, do I have a plan? And then you can have a plan for like, what do I do when things are kind of going horizontal, in the middle? And just writing that down so that you know what you will do when you wake up and see things very different than what you expect. You're not reacting, you kind of have a plan. That has saved me and made me an enormous amount of money because I don't second guess myself. I don't be like, oh shit, I gotta go get some Bitcoin, I gotta transfer fiat or whatever. I already have it set up so that I know what I can and cannot do. So I would definitely encourage you. It can be in a written, I like writing it down. Some people like typing it up. But every night before you go to bed, just write down very, very simply. If it's going up 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Because I'm a buy and hold person. Like that's what I do. If it's going way down, what am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna guarantee that I have, let's say, $3,000 in fiat available. Maybe it's $300, maybe it's $300,000. I don't know what your budgets are. And I'm gonna buy it on this exchange. I'm gonna send it to, let's say, Bittrex, and then I'm gonna buy the coin on here, and then I'm gonna put it into this hardware wallet over here or whatever. But just having that plan of what you're going to look at, which coins you're interested in accumulating, things like that. It makes a huge difference to just have that plan. Cool. So that's where we're at. Nothing crazy yet. I'll just keep my eyes open. A couple of articles that I thought would be interesting. Oh, here's something I thought would be interesting for you guys. We're seeing like two different, and I see this a lot. Like I built a lot of companies on the web, right? Like marketing companies. A lot of them around the idea of like a lifestyle business. And I think that, so you may have seen this, if not, like Mauritius, which is off the coast of Madagascar in Africa. It's like this like pretty sweet island. And they're talking about making it like a blockchain paradise or whatever. And it's a little bit of clickbait, like, it's kind of give me a break type thing. But I think that this is really interesting from a psychology standpoint, which when you know the people, like markets are really just a game of people, right? It's a game of emotions, especially before like the algorithmic stuff gets in here. And I think with the world we're in, you got to remember there's three types of people in this. There are the fundamentalists, right? Like people that just like, they would die for blockchain, right? Like libertarian, maximalist, just purist types, right? And that's like miners are kind of in that world, like whatever. The second group is who would really love this stuff is the people that are just the opportunity seekers. And I don't say that in a negative way. I mean that in the sense like they see a potential opportunity to make money or whatever, and they're capitalizing on it. I would actually probably put myself in that position in a lot of ways, where there's a huge opportunity in this and you dive in. But then the third bucket is the guys who come in here and they're like, they're not dreaming of going and chilling on the beach. Like they are dreaming of making like hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm friends with a lot of guys in hedge fund world and private equity world and all that. And they're sharks. Like there's no getting around it. And they're not really in this yet because it's still pretty volatile and small. But I think it's really important to understand who is driving these markets, because when you start to look at these sort of charts and you're not thinking about, hey, okay, there's maximalists, there's opportunity seekers, and there's financial guys. And if you're not thinking about all three of those people going in here and creating that market, you're going to have a hard time understanding and also staying objective about why these markets move the way they move. This is really important to know what kind of fight you're getting yourself into, because all of a sudden, if you find out that Ethereum Classic, for example, is what all the hedge funds are going to sick their computer bots on, like their algorithmic trading bots on, flash trading stuff, you might want to stay away from that for a little while, right? Because when people are trying to get in here to make money, if you do not have an advantage, you are going to get worked, right? Like it's kind of like try to go day trading in the traditional financial forex derivatives markets. Like it's no joke unless you have some sort of edge. And this is just going to become a bigger and bigger part of the business. And I think it's something to just keep in mind and to pay attention to, so that as you're buying in, you're doing your research on these coins in a way that's not just about the tech, it's about the people buying into the market. Because at the end of the day, like, yeah, the tech is great and it's very, very important, don't get me wrong. But all you guys care about is what's the price, how do I buy below it, and how do I sell above it, right? On whatever time frame you want. And by knowing the people that you are buying against and with, you will have a much better chance at understanding which coins to buy, like who's attracted to what. Like some hedge funds might stay away from certain coins because they're like, that's too small, or we don't like that. And if you know that, you know that you're dealing with maximalists and lifestyle opportunity guys, or pump and dump people or whatever. And you can beat them a lot more easily than you can beat like the financial industry stuff. So I thought that that's just like an important thing to keep in mind. That's the kind of stuff that I look at. And I think that's also why I've had a lot of success with investing, both short and long term. So, because that's all I look at. I just look at the people and the audiences and like who makes up the market, and hedging my best against them. A couple other things, or one more I should say, about Tezos. If you guys don't know about this, I think this is the biggest ICO ever. And so I'm just like, I love this stuff. They raised like 32 million dollars. If you don't know what Tezos is, it's like a self-regulating blockchain. So the idea is that it always fixes its problems so that you never have to hard fork it. Right? That's the problem they're trying to solve, or at least that's the differentiator between them and something like Ethereum or whatever else. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Like I said, I don't have anything against ICOs. I just don't really get into them because unless I get a really early invite, everything I've seen, as soon as they go on the marketplace, is like, it just feels like vaporware to me. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't buy it quite yet. I think we got a couple of years, and then the ICOs will start to really put out some pretty incredible stuff. I got some friends here who are really invested in Silicon Valley who are doing like the Filecoin, right? Angel List, which is all accredited investors. That's like, that at least has some like real money behind it. And not that this doesn't, it's just like these businesses just kind of come out of nowhere. So anyway, you'll see this evolve. It seems like every week we're getting a new record, but I know some people invested in this. I wish them the best. I hope that this makes them a lot of money. I hope that the technology does really well. It looks really cool. But keep an eye on this, right? And look at things like, Metal is one. Especially on the Ethereum market, you can see a lot of these. Like 10x came out, last week, I think. I don't even know. Big basic attention token that came out a while back, but it's just interesting to see. ADX came out recently. How ICOs do. Storage came out, and they got pummeled by the press when they did. Keep an eye on these, right? And you got to make your own decision on whether or not you're interested. My recommendation, if I can give one, or what I would do, I should say, I can't really give you guys recommendations, is wait until it hits the markets, right? Like let the market decide. Make your call. If you believe in it and you're going to buy it for a long time, that's one thing. If you think that you have the ability to hedge it, go for it on that sense too. So that's where we're at. It's, like I said, July 13. Let's take a quick look back. Let's see if there's any progress. Still going down. No surprises there. So I think I'll probably take a break. I love Monero. I've been eyeing this. 37. That looks pretty good to me. Zcash is having some problems. If you don't know, like the founder of Zcash is publicly going through a pretty big divorce right now. And like I said, guys, like I'm all about the people. I think that the people, if you study the people, you get the answers that the markets will tell you. And so like you go on Twitter, you find out that this guy's going through like a really heavy divorce while he's trying to run Zcash. And like Alphabet just got shut down. They just got launched on Alphabet. So like Zcash to me, it's a privacy coin, but I think that they might be having, who knows what will happen there. I do like Monero. 37 is an attractive price. I own a bunch of Monero. That could be a good opportunity to average down. I'm gonna keep my eye on Augur. This is probably gonna be the thing I look at. One, because I want to see why it's doing that, and two, this could be a good opportunity for me to cash out a little bit, because I think I bought it at like 15 or 14. So maybe I just sell off a fair amount, take the profit, or kind of make my money back, and then keep 50% still in there at a really low cost basis, and then I have some free Ethereum, because it only trades against Ethereum, in my account that I could use to trade if and when these things keep going down. Maybe I'll buy some Monero in that sense. So anyway, another episode, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope this is helpful. Again, if there's anything that I can do to help you out, but I'm not trying to pretend to be some guru here. All I'm doing, this is honestly just like what I'm doing every day, and it's making me a good amount of cash, and I wanted to share it because I think it's always good to hear a perspective from somebody else in these businesses. So safe and profitable trading. I wish you the most health, freedom, liberty, all that good stuff. Make sure you go drink a Red Bull or coffee or whatever it is to get you going, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.